Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to A&M in the AM. Now, generally, we would go to a commercial break. We would take care of some of the local sponsors, come back and do local news. But we're going to bypass the news for just a bit. We'll get to it, and we should be able to fit it all in. But we promise all throughout this political run-up to the November 5th elections, any of the contested races, we're doing our best to try to at least bring those candidates to you. Now, last week, we had a chance to bring the candidates in studios, and that is our preferred method of bringing them in, a chance for us to sit down in a sort of mini debate, but a little more comfortable, a little more laid back, still somewhat structured. On this week, we ran into some issues with trying to get people in studios. In fact, we got one person who didn't even want to record an interview. The other two did, and that is for City Council Post 3 for the city of Adairsville. There's a three-way race: Kenneth Carson, Lee Castro, and Connie Morrow. Now, Connie sent us an email with some of her thoughts, but did not come in, nor did she want to be interviewed, or couldn't get her to be interviewed over the phone. Repeated attempts, repeated calls. So if you don't hear Connie Morrow, it wasn't due to a lack of effort on our part to try to get her to tell you about herself, about her campaign, about some of the issues of Adairsville, and how she may be the best person to garner your vote. We did, however, get Lee Castro and Kenneth Carson in our studios. So we'll start off with Lee Castro, mixing him up there. We'll start off with Lee Castro from the city of Adairsville, and then when we come back, I will introduce Kenneth Carson.
First of all, tell the voters about yourself.
Hi, my name is Lee Castro, and I'm running for City Council in Adairsville. My wife and I, we bought our dream home in Adairsville, and our children all attended schools there. My son started in Mr. Bass's first grade or kindergarten class and graduated last year, and my daughter's enjoying the new middle school. We started and helped start a church in Adairsville. It's an all-volunteer church. And finally, my wife and I started our business in Adairsville. Denise Castro is, a lot of people said, why don't you go to Cartersville? Why don't you move to Marietta, Ackworth? And she was bound and determined to have a firm in Adairsville, and so that's what we chose to do, and it's been successful. And recently we purchased our office building in Adairsville, and so we're completely invested in Adairsville. And so, City Hall makes decisions that affect our family and our business, and I want to be a part of that decision-making process, and so that's why I'm running for City Council.
Lee, tell us why people should vote for you.
I'm asking people to vote for me because I believe that I can do the best job. I have a corporate background where I used to do project management. I used to do large budgets. In fact, some of the budgets and the money that the projects that we had to deal with were actually larger than our current city budget of $10 million. So I'm completely at home, relaxed, doing those kind of things. I'm also an entrepreneur. We've built a business that's been successful, and it's continuing to be successful. So I have a lot of background that can help the city council, that can help our city. I think that if people voted for me, I could bring something different to the table also. I think I could be a different voice, fresh ideas, things that our town desperately needs.
What do you feel is the biggest issue facing Adairsville, and what would you do to remedy that?
I believe the biggest issue facing Adairsville is our future. I've been listening to some corporate people, people from the power company business, and they say that Bartow County is the next county that's fixing to step up. They're fixing to grow and expand, and I'm afraid that we need to have a plan in place, a 5-10-year plan that of what we want our town to look like in 10 years. What is the kind of companies that we want to bring to our city? How many manufacturers is enough? How many is too much? I don't think we have these things written down, so I think we need to have a consensus among the city of Adairsville, among the community, of what we want Adairsville to look like in 10 years.
Would you like to say anything in closing, Lee?
Well, in closing, at the end of the day, I was hoping that this election comes down to who can do a better job. I was meeting with some people the other night, and they said, I told them, I said, we got some great candidates. They're both qualified to do the job, but I really think at the end of the day, I'm the one who can do a better job. And they started laughing because they thought, well, for a minute there, we thought you were canvassing for the opponents, and so I want this to be about who can do the better job, and I'm asking people to make some tough choices, not based on who their friends are, not based on who they go to church with, not even based on who their spouse is going to vote for. I want them to honestly and truly vote for the person that they think can do the better job, and so that's why I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your support on November the 5th. And also, we got early voting down at the depot from October 28th through November the 1st. Thank you.
And there we are. That was, again, Lee Castro, who came into our studios. We say thank you very much, Lee, for taking the time to tell us a little bit about yourself, to reflect some of the issues that you believe are facing the folks up in Adairsville in northern Bartow County, and as you heard with this closing there, to ask for your vote. Up next in our who came to our studios to chat with us for a bit was Kenneth Carson.
We have with us today Kenneth Carson of Adairsville, who is running for Adairsville City Council. Kenneth, can you tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Kenneth Carson. I am 49 years of age. I have 5 children. I'm a graduate of Cartersville High School, and I spent some time at Floyd College. I attend the Greater New Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church under direction in Cartersville, Georgia, under direction of W.J.E. Willard Coon, where I serve as a deacon there. I presently live in Adairsville and have been years, but I have worked in Adairsville since I was 13 years old. I currently own a business here in Adairsville. I've been here probably in that business for the last 8.5 years. I run and manage and operate KC's reconditioning appliances, and I also operate a private security company by the name of the Professional Security Group. Those businesses are located at 5884 Joe Frank Harris Parkway in Adairsville, Georgia.
Okay, Kenneth, I want to ask you, why should people vote for you for the city council post?
Well, I tell you, Ernestine, I believe, and my slogan that I'm using for my campaign is that I have a clear vision for a brighter future for this city. Number one, I have been a servant in the community. I've been a police officer for almost 27 years. And I have that servant's heart. I believe to be a good servant that you need to listen to the people. Let them listen to their opinions, and then you try to get together and find a way to correct issues if they exist. But the big thing is, like I said, to be a good leader, you have to be a good servant of the community. I have worked and been an entrepreneur for, like I said, 25 years, which has given me management skills and to know how to deal with situations that may occur in the community.
Okay. Next, I want to ask, what are the biggest issues facing the Adairsville community?
There's several issues. One thing that I know in particular that we have problems. We have infrastructure problems. I mean, we have maintenance problems, to deal with infrastructure also. We have there's communities that there's dealing with the infrastructure where there's no sidewalks. I mean, I know I can't make any promises, but that would be high priority on my agenda to look into those type issues. I mean, we have infrastructure problems. We have water leaks. We have some sewer issues when it rains.
I'm going to have to stop you there, Kenneth. I'm sorry. But I want to close by, this will be my last question here. I want to close by allowing you to have the final say and for you to make a closing statement.
Like I said, I believe, based upon my experience and being a public servant for 27 years, owning my own business, managing it, and also operating it, I believe that I do have the skills that would be vital of importance to the operating of the Adairsville, city of Adairsville. Adairsville, I've worked here since I've been over here. I started working here when I was 13 years old. And I have that love for this community. And I just want to be that positive role model that can stand up and that's not going to waver. I'm going to stand up for what's right for the city and for the citizens that make up this community.
8:16 the time now on AM 1450 WBHF. Once again, we want to thank both Lee Castro and Kenneth Carson for taking the time to talk with us for a few moments and hopefully talk and speak out to the constituents up in Adairsville. We, again, if you missed it at the beginning of this segment, did reach out multiple times to Connie Morrow, and we were not able to get her to commit to coming to the studio, to recording something at a council meeting, or to call in. She did email some answers, but we wanted to get the candidates in their own voice, and we were not able to do that with Connie. We did repeated attempts to try to get that to happen. 8:16 the local time now on AM 1450.